Slime Dungeon is a short little action game created using IG Maker by orzlab, and the game is obviously one of the largest crossover games in the history of gaming. It manages to bring together such diverse franchises as Breath of Fire and Zelda into a single package, a game that is a true smorgasbord of who's who. The story of Slime Dungeon is that you play as a young heroine who has been sent on a secret mission to invade the fortress under the control of the Slime Liberation Front, an affiliate of the Puny Liberation Front from Atelier Iris 2, in order to uncover their plan of attack on a local kingdom to earn respect from adventurers everywhere, and finally raise the rank of slimes in games from mere wimps early on to serious threats in the late game. Of course, while their aspirations are rather high, their actual skill level is rather low. Though after acquiring their plans, you've made your way back to the entrance to find out that they have locked the door. I guess we gave ourselves away a bit when we came charging in like a wild bull and slaughtered everything in our path, but who could have guessed that the door couldn't be opened from the inside without a key? Well, if we want to save the kingdom, we'll need to locate that key and return with the secret plans. The main character of this game is obviously Misty, and she appears to be trying to relive the glory days of the first generation of Pokemon games, when she was a starry-eyed gym leader with hopes of reaching the Elite Four. Those hopes seem to have been dashed from the rocks though when she was ripped out of the Pokemon universe and into this strange crossover dimension by the Lord of Nightmares. Though on a side note, how has the Pokemon franchise managed to survive this long, considering how ridiculous some of the monster designs have become over the years? While all the enemies in this game are slimes, they all have unique connections throughout the gaming multiverse. The biggest slimes in this game are actually the younger cousins of the giant slimes found on Monster Island in Breath of Fire 2. The medium-sized slimes, on the other hand, are related to the slimes you fight in almost every RPG ever made. While the small slimes were all rejected from appearing in Atelier Ice 3 as the Super Mini Puny. I think their rejection is rather obvious though. They just aren't strong enough to be boss material, much less an ultimate optional boss. The gameplay is rather basic, with Misty running around with the Master Sword and cutting down everything in her path, or simply running around it in order to find the key needed to open the front door. Of course, if you come into contact with one of the slimes, you'll lose half a heart, but considering how short this game is, I don't imagine it's possible to die unless you do so on purpose. Graphically speaking, the game uses a monochromatic look, which makes it feel like an old Game Boy game, rather than a more recently created title. Though this decision to pay homage to the past is a nice touch, and gives the game a rather unique look. It also helps reinforce this title's connection with the Pokemon franchise. I'll admit that I found the soundtrack rather forgettable, but that isn't anything new with me. So I'm not sure if this area of the game is good or bad, so I'll just chalk it up to being rather average and thus unremarkable in my perspective. In all seriousness, I'm not sure what to think about Slime Dungeon as a game. The title is extremely short, with my longest run through the game to find the key being a bit over 4 minutes. The game just doesn't have enough length to it to form a hard opinion, so I can't honestly offer any sort of recommendation for it, so my advice is to seek this title out at your own discretion.